lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Chocolate Sayin, Arwin, and Ranty Flat Earth. Good to have you all.
Good to be here.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good morning.
Good
Evening.
morning. What do you mean, good evening?
Sorry. Good afternoon.
And good night?
9 a.m. in the morning here.
Okay, most people watching this will probably be their early breakfast encounter with Flat Earth. Hey, Travis.
Hey!
Good to
Shout
have
out
you.
Daisy Effie Chick.
Shout out my lover.
Hey.
So, any signs of curvature, gentlemen?
Nope.
The ballers keep
Negative.
trying to find curvature in all the imagery of stuff, and they keep claiming that it's curvature. They just can't perspective.
I forget where Woz is. Is Woz in New Zealand or Australia? 11 PM there. I think he's Australian.
It's where he is now is probably just leaving the pub.
Leaving the what?
I'm only joking. So leaving the pub, it closes at 11 o'clock.
Oh, right. Make 4 says East Coast Australia. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's why I picked this time. So it's like the last thing the Aussies will get to see, and the Kiwis, and that side of the world, and then the other side of the world they're just getting up. The worst case scenario is sort of west coast of the States. It's probably about 7 a.m. something like that. Maybe it's 6. I forget. But some of them like you, Chocolate. It's 9 a.m.
Do the Aussies drink
I forgot.
Castlemaine 4X though?
Say again, Ranty.
Do the Aussies drink Castlemaine 4X?
No, that's brewed in the UK.
Okay, so that was just a scam during the 90s then.
Well, I mean, they might drink it, but they've got some crazy ad with the British guy going, I really enjoy Castlemaine 4X.
Really?
No, I'm just making that up, but it's just marketing, isn't it? So I've dragged this out a little bit with curvature because you've got your P1000, and you're telling me within a day of having it, you haven't found the curve that they allege is there when they beg the question and use a curve calculator.
No, but you know what these ballers are like. They will try to fudge the math to make a clear flat Earth proof look like a ball Earth proof, and it's just horse manure because they can't perspective.
Indeed.
So there is no sign of curvature.
They know how to beg the question, though. So, yeah. Right, well, if no curvature, what about axial rotation? Anybody found any signs that we're spinning?
Nope.
Nah, man.
I was on a roundabout once.
I always have to add this. Of the Earth-based variety. So, axial rotation of the Earth-based variety.
Oh, well, in that case, no.
Any evidence of a gas pressure without a container?
Never.
Nope.
No.
Scientific evidence of gravity? Any of that? Anybody?
Scientific, no?
I tripped and fell yesterday.
What was that? Say again, Travis. I'll just turn you up a little bit.
I tripped and fell yesterday.
Was it your momentum that made you fall with your mass,
No,
or was it gravity pulling you to the ground?
It was the center of the Earth's mass. I felt it.
So is this a scientific evidence of
It pulled
gravity?
me.
You're
it
high
pulled
on
me down.
love, dude.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm flying high right now. That's right.
Yeah. Love's closed up his
Nothing
ears.
can bring me down, boys. Nothing.
So I'll say it again just for the person that's
Not even
love-strucken
gravity,
deaf.
bro. Not even gravity.
No,
I laugh in the face of gravity.
scientific evidence of gravity, specifically scientific evidence. No?
No,
Anybody?
no.
Lover boy?
Nope.
Fair enough. What about self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, maybe at the presupposed spherical Earth, but that's one step too far.
None.
Never
Well-
been seen, never been proved.
What about the distance to the sun?
There is no distance to the sun.
Nobody's got a tape measure? No? Last,
No.
last but
You
not
could
least
try.
then, what about the R value? The presupposition itself. Earth radius. Any signs of that?
We're not very good today, Nath. Can't help you with that, mate.
Yeah.
Fresh out.
Nope.
Well, we'll keep asking. One day. I mean, yesterday we got very close with the any signs of curvature question because we were very fortunate to have P. Mars on, and he offered the Bolivian salt flats and Florida and wherever the hell he lives, which has been bulldozed by a glacier, according to history, and therefore left flat as a pancake. But those were all his evidence of curvature. Marvellous.
Oh my god.
Well, I
The
think that
flattest
pretty
plate,
much
please.
that concludes the housekeeping.
Alrighty.
Alrighty then.
Is the link public?
No, it will be in 10 seconds though.
Okay. I have the back door.
Me too.
So if anyone joins, can you please say hello as soon as you join so you have your mic open?
And your watch page closed. Mute your watch page. if you're doing.
You guys hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah, much better. So you had a bit of a hangout yesterday, Ranty. Hey, P. Mars.
Hey.
Hello.
Yay.
Hello, Pete.
I found evidence of gravity.
Oh, excellent.
Ooh. What type?
Mass attracting mass.
Oh dear.
Newtonian Cavendish.
go.
Okay.
I hesitate to ask.
Do you want to watch my video or what?
I hesitate to ask.
Hey,
Oh.
here we got.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
To the creator.
How you doing?
Hello, hello.
The creator's creator, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, doing good. Nice to see you in.
Good to see you.
Nice picture.
And hey, Tommy as well.
Thanks. Hello, nice. You all right, mate?
Good to have you. Thanks for joining. So yeah, Ranty had a hangout yesterday. It was like a handbags at the ready, slag off every flat earther that's not every flat earther, everybody in the flat earth arena that's a faker or a scammer or a disingenuous, vexatious litigator. It was all but no holds barred, wasn't it, Ranty?
It was enjoyable as well. And we had a consistent 130 watching, which I thought was pretty good for a relatively small channel like myself.
Definitely. It's about the same number we've got watching now. That's amazing considering you're 1/7 the size of this channel. I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying it's exceptional to get that kind of numbers when you've got 1,000 subscribers. So, kudos to you. But that's because people
That's
want to
a
know what
lot.
you've got to say, Ranty.
Because I'm ace.
It's a lot of
Jesus
views,
Christ.
Ranty. People might accuse you of faking it.
Well, that was one of the subjects, actually, P. So we were looking at Simon Dan and keeping a running tab on his ever-increasing totals.
Yeah, I was just joking. Can I present this video? It's like 45 seconds.
Is it yours?
No.
Then no. Just tell us what it is.
Oh. It's an experiment.
Oh, really? Excellent. Just
Yeah.
tell us all about it.
So they hang a object like a pyramid from a string and it's attached to a scale, right?
Hello,
And so they
Event Horizon, hello. Hello. Hello, Event. You need to speak up, mate.
Event Horizon is the guy who introduced me to you lot. Chris, I think.
He's a light side troll.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a troll. I think it's Chris. He introduced me to you lot.
He's dark side. He's just posing as a light side.
Okay. Anyway, P. So, I mean, if you want to put some stills on periodically to show us, as long as you don't play the video because it's not yours, so I've not got permission, but if you put various stills up from it, I'll display them, if you know what I mean.
It's called gravitational attraction.
Um.
So go.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, see this? He's got this object here on a hook attached to the scale, right?
Okay.
So it's being weighed.
It's very short.
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to get a copyright strike. So the object's being weighed by this scale hanging from this string, right? And
Copyright strike. This is ancient.
I'll win. I want to get an explanation.
so when the guy takes this, you see this big ball here? He moves it underneath this pyramid that's being weighed, and when he moves the ball underneath the pyramid, it increases the weight of the object. You can see it on the scale. So I think it's a pretty good experiment to demonstrate that mass attracts mass because the object becomes heavier when the ball is placed underneath it, and when you move it, it goes back to its. So that the ball being moved would be the independent variable, and then the weight of the object would be the dependent variable, right?
Well, no, but
No?
I'll rip it apart after. Just tell us what it is, and we'll go through it after.
So the independent variable, the ball is either not placed under the object or it is placed under the object, and when the dependent variable would be the weight of the object, which changes based on the independent variable,
So,
showing that mass attracts mass.
okay.
Or that it could be a magnetic pyramid that's being attracted to the metal of the ball underneath, hence pulling, giving it an extra pulling force.
Well, there's a couple of things. So the independent variable P, right? What did you say the independent variable was?
The moving of the ball, they either put the ball underneath the object or they remove it, and there's no ball underneath the object. So it's
the ball itself is the independent variable. Is that what you're saying?
moving it depending on where it is, right?
So ball movement is your independent
This
variable.
is ridiculous.
Are you trying to be gross?
No, I'm saying what is your independent variable?
I told you.
The ball.
Yeah.
What about just the straight hypothesis?
Oh, hold on,
Just give
hold
us
on.
The straight hypothesis.
So an independent variable P is your presumed cause in a cause and effect relationship. So your independent variable, your cause in this quasi experiment, is the ball.
Yeah, you increase the mass underneath the object.
Right. So you're saying the cause is mass.
Yes, the more mass under the object, the more the weight, the more the object weighs, which would be the dependent variable.
Right. Okay. So we've got mass as the cause, correct?
Yeah, because mass attracts mass. That's what we're trying to demonstrate.
Well, no, P. You're trying to demonstrate Newtonian gravity.
Right, which is mass attracting mass.
Well, you've got the cause being mass. So your cause is mass.
Yeah, mass attracts mass. That's the idea of gravity.
No. Your independent variable isn't mass attracting mass. That's the effect. That's according to you.
That's the observed phenomena.
Right. Well, that would be your
Surface tension.
Hold on. That would be
We
your
manipulate the amount of mass under the object.
P.
That's the
Can I
independent
just get to
variable.
the P? I was very courteous. I let you explain your nonsense. Now let
I
me
didn't
rip
hear
it
you
to-
talking.
Now let me rip it to pieces. That's not your independent variable.
It's not nonsense.
Oh, right. You're just going to rumpus me.
What do
Right.
you mean?
I mean, I'd like to rebut what you have said. You just keep
okay.
going, no, it's true, it's right. I've let you talk your shit. Now let me rip it to pieces, please.
It's not shit.
Oh, if that's what you're going to do, P, then we can't have a civil discourse, can we? You're just going to talk over me ripping it to pieces. When I point out that you're trying to prove gravity and you've claimed that your independent variable is mass, but the effect that you're trying to prove is gravity, and that's not your independent variable, the cause. It's actually what you're claiming is the dependent variable, but you won't let me say that because you keep saying, no, it's right, it's true. This isn't right. It isn't true. Sorry. No.
Okay. Good argument.
Well, you're trying to prove gravity. You've told me that the cause...
Yeah, I just proved gravity.
No, you've told me that the cause is mass, according to your pseudoscience parlour trick, right? That's what you've told me. The independent variable's mass, not gravity.
Gravity is mass attracting mass.
Oh, right. Well, you're going to make that assumption and assertion based on mass, the independent variable. Your cause is mass. You don't have to add to it, P. That's not scientific, dick brain. That's just you adding a sentence to the cause in your cause and so-called cause and effect relationship in this experiment.
Really emotional, Nathan.
You see,
you're
just talking over me,
Mars,
P.
I took a look at your
You're just talking over me. I'm ripping it apart
Stop
based on its scientific non-validity. And you just want to talk over me and say, no, it is. No, gravity is the cause. No, you've said that mass is the cause. That's your independent variable. Then you add mass attracting mass is gravity. That's not being shown in this.
No.
Yes, it is.
You can just assert it, can you, P?
Change
right
the ball.
now, it's trickery.
If we change the ball for, say, Blackpool Tower, and where his hand is, which is the ground, that's the Earth, and there's me, that's the triangle. If I go up to the top of Blackpool Tower, this is essentially saying that I would weigh heavier at the top of Blackpool Tower than I would if I was on the ground, and that the mass of Blackpool Tower would be added to the mass of the Earth, making me heavier.
What do you guys think is making it weigh more?
Magnetics. It's
We have no
metal
idea.
objects,
We haven't
very
isolated the
yeah,
variables because, as Arwen's about to point out to you, there could be other effects at play that are not isolated. You don't have an isolated independent variable. For all we know, it's a magnetic ball.
They're both
the increase of
cast iron, and that is very easily magnetizable. So
the amount of force that is applied and the amount that the weight increases lines up to what we would expect if what they say about gravity is true.
Oh, really? So you're begging the question. It basically aligns with what you already know. So if you assume gravity and have the mathematics to extrapolate out what it is, this proves it. No, this isn't science. You haven't got an isolated independent variable. You haven't got an observed phenomena. Where are you observing mass attracting mass in the natural world? None of this. It's just as bad as the bloody bullshit Cavendish.
I don't think... okay. I don't think that's a very good argument. I don't think you have a very good explanation for why the object weighs more.
So you're trying to prove the cause as gravity.
Yeah.
Right. The cause, in a scientific experiment, is the independent variable.
Yeah, we're manipulating
is your
how much
independent
gravity
variable
is
gravity? Is your independent variable gravity?
Yeah, we're changing.
Oh, you're manipulating gravity, are you, magician? You're manipulating gravity, are you?
Yes.
Oh, really? Show me. Show me gravity.
Doctor Strange.
The video showed the weight changes in the object.
Show me gravity
on
so I can
gravity.
see how you change it and manipulate it. Show it to me.
Go on, Doctor Strange. Come on, do it.
Show it me. You said you can vary and manipulate it. Show it me.
I can't play the video though.
No, show me gravity. Show me what's going to be varied and manipulated. Even though you've already told me it's ball, now you're saying it's gravity. The cause has changed from ball to gravity when I point out that ball isn't gravity, and you're not showing the causation as gravity, you're showing it as ball. But you don't want to accept that. You want to extrapolate it out and say, well, mass attracting mass is gravity, even though Einsteinian gravity completely shits all over this. We haven't even got there yet. Nonetheless, your science that you think is science doesn't have an observed phenomena, and your independent variable, the thing you're trying to prove is the cause, is not gravity.
If that experiment was accurate,
You tell me,
if that
Pete.
experiment is accurate, then
What are
I'd
you
get some
varying and
scales.
manipulating? Are you varying and manipulating gravity? If not, what are you varying?
Yeah, we're manipulating the gravity, of course.
Show it me. Show me your varying of this mathematical construct called gravity. Show me your manipulation of it. Show me it physically being something.
If you weigh yourself on something, then get on a very heavy object like a car, and then weigh yourself on top of a car, you won't weigh heavier on top of the car.
Exactly. And this is assuming that every step you go up a tower, you're going to get heavier because you'll have more mass underneath you.
In this experiment, the object weighs more. when you manipulate the gravity.
Yes, I know
right?
you think this experiment's perfect, but as you said, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of flaws with the experiment. One being the material that it's being used. Two, the fact that it's not independent because it could be magnetic. So everything's just flawed from the start. Plus,
Don't you
as you said,
think?
if you get some scales and get on top of a car, weigh yourself on the floor, get on top of a big truck, and then put some scales and then weigh yourself again. That's pretty much the same experiment. You won't weigh heavier weighing yourself on top of a heavy
Yeah,
object.
but
Don't
even the
you-
problem with that is the fact that you can't vary the mass of the Earth. How can you isolate the mass of the Earth and isolate the mass of the car if you're standing on a car? There's
we
no way
add
you
the
can.
we add this big ball to the mass of the Earth, and if the effect was magnetism, like you guys are presupposing, then I think the weight would the amount of force would be far greater because magnetism is more powerful force than gravity, and we see a negligible difference in weight, but it is enough that it can be measured, and it does line up what we would expect from how we
That could
understand
be done by just weighing.
Newtonian gravity to
weighing the
work.
magnet. That could be done by just weighing the magnet to the right amount, so it's got a certain amount of force, and then putting it under that little pyramid thing, and it could balance out, and they could just demonstrate that one example. But you'd have to have many examples that's showing a consistency without. It doesn't matter what type of material or different type of weight that you of size of the object underneath. It'll always come back to the same number, which that isn't demonstrating that.
Well, this is just one experiment. I'm sure you could
I've got to stop
duplicate
here.
it with
Stop,
other
stop, stop,
objects.
stop, stop, stop. If you want to prove something as a cause, you perform science. Yep. You first formulate a hypothesis. You presume what your cause will be. Now, the first thing is, it's got to be something real. Not something you conjure and invent like gravity. Not some idea. It's got to be a physical thing. So you can't beg the question and assume this thing is real and then start experimenting. You first decide what it is that you're observing. So in the natural world, where do we observe mass attracting mass? And then when you've established that, you try and establish the cause. The thing to do in order to do that with science is vary and manipulate that cause. Your independent, on its own, variable. Now, how are you going to conjure this thing, gravity, to vary and manipulate, to establish it is causing whatever effect you're conjuring with this equipment? You can't. In other words, P, you can't scientifically validate gravity. It's just a load of mumbo-jumbo made up by men. It's not an actual thing.
Well, you're saying I can't do that, but this experiment shows people doing that. So I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Nathan. Like, I don't think your argument is very good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
in the
I've
1970s.
taken it to pieces based on its total lack of actual scientific validity, but you don't think my argument's very good. Okay, fair enough. It's proof. There you go, P. I agree. You've got proof of gravity on your hands, my friend. That's why it's such a famous experiment. Well done.
Yeah, and there's a reason why there's no other videos about the same thing that you can find, because it's utter bollocks.
Number one, the type
How
of
do you know
gravity.
that?
Just
How do you know there's
just
no
like
other
the
videos?
satellites, it's the same people, same group of people that made the same propaganda and during the same period.
Have you
Right.
seen
What-
every video?
when
on the
was this?
internet right
When
now?
was
It's all
this made?
futurist propaganda.
When was
Before-
this made?
It,
Like
it looks old.
30s?
It looks like 70s. I think.
Yeah,
there's- I
exactly.
don't believe they had
NASA
color.
when they did their thing.
30s.
So, PMARS, if this would be the proof of gravity, why would nobody have seen this before?
People have seen it before. I'm pretty sure it's been presented
So
to Nathan before.
Why isn't it famous? If it proves gravity, why are we all here asking, is there proof of gravity if this experiment has been out there this whole time?
Well, if gravity existed, it would be strong evidence that the Earth is a sphere. So that's why flat earthers have to deny gravity and Newton and all this stuff.
Sorry. So we have to
And
deny
so that's a
your...
non-answer.
That's a non... Yeah, we have to deny if the Earth is a sphere. What? So we have to deny when you beg the question? No, that's you falling victim of a formal logical fallacy known as affirming the consequent.
If the Earth was flat, gravity would work different. It would be. It would.
What's
It
gravity?
would go at a different
Sorry,
angle
what's gravity,
on
P?
the edge of the
P,
flat Earth.
what's gravity?
doesn't
You still
work
haven't
like
shown
that.
us. P, you haven't shown us it. Show us it, so I can start varying and manipulating it and proving it causes things to happen. Do you want to show it me?
Nathan, could we talk about how gravity works about buoyancy and density?
Do you want to show it me first?
Could we do that?
Sorry, can you show it me? Then we'll talk about what it does.
I thought I did show it to you.
You showed a dangling triangle with a metal ball being rolled next to it and a scale number changing. That's what you showed me.
Right.
So you showed me weight differentials based on something being moved into close proximity that could be any number of materials.
It's magnetic metals.
Weight is based on gravity.
It's gravity, really. Well, why is it, P, that gravity as it stands completely debunks the notion that you have a pseudo force attracting masses when it's actually, according to modern science, the bending of space-time? So this isn't famous, not because it's just obscure and no one's realised, it's because it's absolutely shit on by the current science, which would be Einsteinian gravity, the bending of space-time, your bullshit ball bending a fabric. Yeah, that's how they describe it. That's current gravity. So not masses attracting masses. That's not what science says. This is old science that's been debunked.
Okay, Nathan, it has been debunked. Event horizon, don't worry about it. Let's get past that. So we're back into density and buoyancy. That's what it is, isn't it, Nathan?
What is? That's what is?
That's how you explain gravity, isn't it? Density
What's
and
gravity?
buoyancy.
Sorry, what's gravity? Are you going to show it to me?
I can't show it to you.
Why not?
Why not?
Yes,
Yes,
why not?
Let's not get into this.
Why?
Because
Directional pressure.
Can you show me magnetism?
hang on,
Yes.
hang on.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Is it
yes,
Erwin?
Pete. Yes,
Is it
very
Erwin
easily.
started
Yes,
directional
yes,
pressure?
Pete. With very similar apparatus that you have, two metal objects, surprisingly. So it's funny that, isn't it? I could show magnetism with an almost identical setup to you. I could suspend a metal item next to another item that's metal that has a magnetic attraction incorporated into that metal item, and then show that the scale changes. In fact, my apparatus, put it back on screen. Here you go. This here, I'm just going to say, this is my apparatus. It's on screen now for all to see, that proves magnetism. You just roll this ball closer to this metal triangle, and the metal triangle goes down because it's attracted through magnetism to the ball, and the scale changes. So there you go. This is my apparatus to show magnetism. Proof positive. There you go.
That doesn't prove gravity.
I wasn't trying to prove gravity. I was just proving magnetic fields and magnetism exist
Correct,
by two
correct.
items.
Because P. Mars would ask, can you prove magnetism when we all know magnetism exists?
I thought
I don't
that's
even
what
understand why you
what
would
we're
ask
talking
that
about.
question.
Yeah, I could also put a load of iron filings on a piece of paper, put a magnet underneath it, and show the fields that it creates, and then that they disappear when you take the magnet away. So, yeah, there's various different things you can show.
That still doesn't prove gravity.
I'm not talking about gravity, I'm talking about magnetism. I'm talking about all the things you can show to still show this very mysterious force of magnetism. Very mysterious. Lots of people think they know about it, but I would say lots of people also are wrong about their assertions about magnetism. However, I can definitely show various different aspects of it to show that there is a force that's occurring. Now, I'd like you to do the same, was for your bullshit that you call gravity. Show it me.
Okay, that's what we were just talking about, and what you just went on that course of magnetis, whatever the fuck that was about. Sorry for the language. So how do you? Let's get back to what the flat Earth compensates for gravity is density and buoyancy.
So we're not compensating for something we haven't seen what it is yet. So we don't have to compensate for the unicorn farts,
Nathan,
do we?
you have
we
to.
don't have to compensate for the unicorn farts. I first have to show you the unicorn farts and how they cause a problem before we need to compensate for them. So first show me gravity before you build up a straw man that says that we somehow have to cope with this imaginary nonsense that you call gravity. First show it us.
Nathan, no one's proving anything. No one's showing anything. You're trying to tell everyone to prove what you want to see. All right?
I don't want to see it. I don't
You're
think gravity
saying
is
that
real.
gravity
So,
exists.
I don't think it's real, I think it's
hang
nonsense.
on. How can you say gravity? I'm trying to prove gravity exists. We were all stuck to the ground. If it's flatter, it's a globe. If it's flatter, it's a globe. If it's flat, if it's a globe, it's gravity. If it's flat, it's density and buoyancy. So how does density and buoyancy work on a flat Earth?
Sorry, you haven't shown me gravity. So density and buoyancy, like magnetism, I can show you. I can show you examples of that.
Owen, I'd love to talk to you, Owen, because you are the most intelligent flat earther on the fucking globe. I mean, on the globe.
Stop swearing.
From you, that means absolutely.
Yo, Jazz. Oh, Jazz.
Stop swearing, please.
Sorry about that,
I have
Nathan.
no idea about gravity. Obviously, seriously, your arguments are 2 years outdated. This is stupid.
So, Owen, what is gravity on the flat Earth? How can we explain it?
Why would you be
and buoyancy.
Why would you be targeting Arwen for this particular question?
Because he's the
I'm the
most
studying it,
intelligent
because I
person
actually
here.
care. But, yeah, you can't share it.
And he's the most honest.
The thing is, you
If
guys
I'm
told me
gonna be
that you
honest.
guys told me I needed to do some research and stuff like that, and I've watched countless videos of stuff, and even the stuff that he's asking now, he should know, and stuff that I didn't even know. That it's took me like what 20 within the space of 48 hours to know the answers to this.
Tommy, we're talking about Jazz Akanda here. He doesn't really know much.
He's one of the
Sorry,
resident
Jazz,
trolls.
but
No, he wants to learn about gravity. Well, fine. How you detect gravity is the directional pressure. This is very specific. It is there. There is a directional pressure. Things have pressure. There's the gas pressure. There's water pressure. But all things have pressure, weigh different in different directions.
Direction is relative. That's utter nonsense. You're talking about relative terms, Arwen, to attribute gravity to them. And direction is relative to the state that you're in. So if you want to attribute direction to something, you must accept that the direction itself is a relative term.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. This is what they teach you in first grade. This is like preschool stuff.
Yeah.
It is. This is preschool stuff. Relative. Look up the word relative, Arwen. And one of the first things it will say is about direction. So if you don't get this, then that's your problem.
I'm talking about measuring and observing.
What, a
Nathan,
relative direction?
Just real quick, Arwen thinks there is flat, so just let him keep going.
No,
Alright?
we're talking about relative terms.
This is all demonstratable.
Well, it's relative.
Okay.
What's up to something that's moving past it down is different to us going down through a thinner atmosphere than something that's being forced up like a ping pong ball through water. It's relative to whatever it is you're observing and its position and location relative to its surroundings. Direction is relative. Hello, Rumpus.
Hello. I thought you might like to have experiments and hypotheses explained to you.
No, I'm good, thanks.
No, you're not, unfortunately. You don't understand the difference between the two.
You asked me if I'd like hypothesis explaining. No, I'm good. I understand them completely.
No,
How
you
many
don't understand them at
independent
all.
variables can you have, Rumpus? How many independent variables do you have in an experiment?
In an experiment, you try and reduce them to one, but that's different from
Try
hypothesis,
to.
where you have
Try.
multiple.
You try to. You endeavour to have one. Do you, Rumpus? Try to.
That's right. Well, sometimes if you don't know other factors
Sorry,
that
you
exist,
try to. I'm trying to get clarity on this. Try to have one. Try to have an independent variable. No, you have an independent variable. You don't have science. Oh, getting trolled. Who's trolling?
Mars, you see.
It's a fake PMARS, probably.
No, it's the real PMARS.
No, he's not in the Brexit chat, so no.
Yeah, I've just got rid of him.
Oh, that was really fast.
Yeah, no, as soon as he did it, I got rid of him.
So yeah, I don't need any explanation of what.
well, you do,
hypothesis
because you don't
is.
understand having multiple variables in a hypothesis.
Oh, multiple variables. Oh, right. No, you have
Hypothesis, you have
one.
multiple, Nathan.
No,
For instance, let's think of this experiment. Think of the
I
damage
don't
done
need
to it.
to.
If I was
I've
to
just
drive a
said
car
no.
into a garage
What
door-
part of no
Hold on.
don't you
Don't
understand?
interrupt, Nathan. Don't
You're not going to
interrupt.
get to talk when I've
Don't
just said no.
interrupt.
I
If
don't need an
drive a
explanation
car
from you,
into a
asshole.
garage door,
Here
No.
we go.
No.
Hold on.
hold on.
If I drive a car into a garage door, if I drive a car into a garage door, if I drive
Shout out to
into a
Easy
garage
Epic. What's up,
door, if I
Carolina?
drive a car into a garage door,
No,
what do you
Rumpus, I
think
don't
the
want to hear about
variables
garage
are,
door.
Nathan?
Not
If I drive a
interested,
car
thank
into a
you.
garage door,
No, thank you.
what do you think the
No,
variables
thank you.
are that
Rumpus,
will
no, thank
determine
you.
the damage
We're
to the
good.
door?
No, thank you.
What do you think?
No, thank you,
What do you
Rumpus, we're
think,
good.
Nathan, would be the
Do you want me
variables?
to turn you
in
right
the
down, Rumpus, because
hypothesis
you're just
of damage
rumpusing
to
the
the
hangout?
door?
Let's
What
turn
do
you
you think the
right
variables
down
would
to
be?
minimum because you're being
What
a
do you think the
wanker.
variables would be?
There we go.
For
Let's turn
a
you
car
right
driving
down.
into a door? What do
Now,
you
you're
think would
good, Rumpus. We
determine
don't want to
the
hear your
damage
nonsense,
to the
thank you.
garage door? What do
You're
you think
describing
would
a complex
determine
hypothesis.
the damage done to the garage door? What do you think the variables would be?
A complex hypothesis can only give you a correlation. It cannot give you a cause. If Rumpus wants to insert multiple variables, he has a complex hypothesis which will not give you causation. It will only give you a correlation. So you can't have multiple variables in a scientific hypothesis. You have one independent
Rumpus,
variable.
shut up.
He's just rumpusing. I've turned him right down to show just how disruptive he
Rumpus,
is.
shut the hell up, dude.
He wants to be heard regardless because he's rude.
Rumpus, we got to your end before you did.
To Michael Buck for the super chat, much obliged.
But Owen, why don't you ask Nathan to allow me to get a whole
I
sentence?
can't hear you. Your volume is too
Why
low.
don't you
Nathan
repeat
is
yourself
getting
one more
super
time?
chats
Say
just to
it
kick
one more time.
Rumpus out. This is
Yeah,
how
you're not going to be
ridiculous Rumpus
rumpusing this
is.
hangout, Rumpus. We're just going to shut you up regardless of how you like it done. So, no, we don't want to hear your explanation for a complex hypothesis because that wouldn't give you a cause. It would
I'd be
only
very
give you a
interested on my
correlation.
hangout, but
So this,
not here.
for the audience, for the wanker ballers who criticise me for having a mute button, this is why. Because even if I turn him down to minimum, he can't shut his rumpus mouth. So for this hangout, you'll hear what he does and understand that it's far better if I shut him up completely so he can hear me nice and calm without Rumpus continually talking, because when he does, this is how it sounds like, with Rumpus rumpusing, because he's a wanker.
Rumpus,
and he
do you have
knows
conversations
he's
like...
pushing deceit, he knows he's pushing lies, so he has to come and Rumpus. It's the last refuge of the lying bullshit artist. Just come and disturb things, because you don't have any proof, Rumpus, you don't have
Nathan has to
you don't have anything.
The only way he can deal with reality, he can't deal with reality, so he has to censor me.
Rumpus.
So he has to censor me. The only way
Yeah, Rumpus, can you stop talking, or I'm going to kick you out?
What if the chance was he's not trying to censor you? Maybe you just need to realise they already know where you're going with the argument you're trying to present.
I do absolutely know. I absolutely know, but he won't let me make that argument because he knows.
They already know the outcome of where you're going with it, so
I know exactly.
why are you wasting time repeating what they already know they're going to be the answer?
Don't know this. Nathan doesn't.
Of course they do. It's independent variables. As soon as you start to bring other things in, it's not independent no more, is it?
Nathan doesn't understand.
You can't vary the gravity, you dumbass.
Nathan does not
Look,
understand
I've tried.
the hypothesis has more than one variable.
Can't do it.
Rumpus.
He does not understand.
Rumpus.
No, I haven't
Rumpus.
Let me finish
Can
my
you
sentence.
relax
you
for
have.
a second,
you have
Rumpus?
Sentence. You've
Let
said
me
it
have a
25
Jesus.
million,
Let
thousand,
me have a
billion,
sentence. Let me have a
quadrillion
sentence and I'll
times.
stop.
Rumpus, you understand that sooner or later you're going to get kicked out because you're just being ridiculous, man.
You're interrupting me. I haven't had a sentence yet.
We're interrupting you.
You can only you have to
Just let him, guys, just let him tucker himself out. Let's talk amongst ourselves.
All right.
He's very quiet, so don't worry too much about Rumpus.
I'm gonna crash my truck to make it stop.
All right. So how about everybody be quiet and let Rumpus talk? How about that? Let's
First words out of his mouth. will be
go
Nathan
ahead,
doesn't
Rumpus.
understand.
Enthrall us with your knowledge, please.
Right.
Go ahead.
Nathan doesn't understand the hypothesis has more than one variable. What he gets
No,
confused with.
that's a
You interrupted me.
complex
You've interrupted me.
Because you're
Stop
talking
it.
rubbish.
Stop it. You see, you can't cope with the truth, can you? Here we go again. You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me. You're interrupting me.
Wait. Let Rumpus talk, and then Nathan will answer him. Let
Let me
Rumpus talk.
finish my sentence. Right. In a hypothesis, you almost always have more than one variable. In an experiment, which you use to test your hypothesis, you reduce the variable to one that you can vary, and the other ones are controlled. What Nathan doesn't understand is like a formula, say for gravity, has three variables.
Sorry, we're not talking about formulas, you utter fuckwit. We are talking about science, not maths. don't try and do your sleight of hand where you introduce a formula, you unbelievable idiot. No, when we have a formula, that's not what we're doing when we're doing science, though, is it, Rumpus? You stupid idiot. We're not doing maths here. We're not looking at your formula. We're doing science. So don't try your sleight of hand with me.
For science, the hypothesis always proposes a formula, almost always.
No, it does not.
And I know you don't like that, but
No,
that's the truth.
it does not.
Almost all hypotheses propose a formula of which there are more than one variable. And you don't understand this because you get confused with what an experiment does, which you use to test one of those variables. Carry on.
I understand what a hypothesis is. It establishes the cause, this single independent variable that you will either verify or nullify as the cause of the effect. Once you establish your cause, you have the cause, your single independent variable in a scientific experiment.
An experiment, yes.
Oh, am I not allowed to talk, Rumpus? See? Total asshole. So let's shut Rumpus up. This is why I have a mute button, because he's an asshole and he won't let me speak. So he's explained how I don't understand, and when I come to explaining that Rumpus is detailing a complex hypothesis, something that can only give you a correlation and not a causation, then he'll talk all over me. Unfortunately for Rumpus, I'm more than happy to tell the audience that I'm shutting you up. You don't get to have a say when I point out that an actual cause is established in science by isolating one singular independent variable.
In an experiment, you're correct.
Not three.
In an experiment,
not four.
But see, there are three variables in the hypothesis, Nathan. Here's the hypothesis in this formula.
I don't need you to explain this. I've already told you I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's his hypothesis apprentice. You don't want to hear science.
See, I do understand science. I've just explained it. In science, you observe a phenomena. Then you try and figure out what's causing the phenomena. The cause being your independent variable. The phenomena being your dependent variable. And when you arrange them into what you think is the cause, your assumed cause, the independent variable that you will verify or nullify, then you go forward with your hypothesis stage to establish whether or not your independent variable is the cause or is not the cause. And then you perform systematic experimentation to validate or invalidate your independent variable. That, sir, is science. You talked about a formula for the thing you already know about, in this case gravity. You already know what it is because it's not a thing, it's a mathematical formula.
Three variables in the hypothesis and one variable in the experiment.
R in there, you idiot.
Three variables in the hypothesis and one variable when you do the experiment to test the hypothesis.
Yeah, and when you do your experiment, if you have three presumed causes and you go forward and you invalidate that as your cause, it is not your cause. Then you move forward, having discounted that as your cause, and go on to the next independent variable to establish if it's your cause. You don't incorporate the others because it's part of your formula. That's not science. That's bullshit. Now, you don't have to like it, and you can Rumpus the hangout all you like. You haven't got science on your side, Rumpus. If you did, you'd be presenting it. What you actually present is formulas for things you presuppose, like gravity, a bullshit fantasy that you've conjured out of mathematics. It's not an actual thing, otherwise you'd be showing it to us, like we can show magnetism.
You test one of variables. There are three variables, and that cause.
Mate, no offense, but you're acting like a girl. You know, like when a girl just won't listen and she just constantly shouts and speaks louder to make her point. But it doesn't make your point any stronger when you speak louder. Just relax.
Yeah, he won't do that. He's here to distract and Rumpus.
Denied what a complex hypothesis is, yet tried to assert it as you can have it as a hypothesis.
I don't think he's here anymore.
You want to repeat that?
A fake sleeping warrior just kicked everybody.
Oh, really? Marvellous.
I'm here.
There'll be a short intermission.
Are they kicking everybody?
Ugh. Welcome to the show. You don't know. 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 You don't know No, you don't know. This should be the work of but a moment. We're in. If you're in Skype, I'll stick the link in. I shit you not. Master B. Chew! Excuse me. And a few others. So hopefully we'll get our guests back in a few moments while I hold back the sneezes. Hey, Owen.
Hey, welcome back. That sniper was really quick.
Yeah, and he came in on a Sleeping Warrior account, and Sleeping Warrior wasn't currently part of the call, so I didn't think it would be a fake one, but it was. He caught me out, bastard. There we go. So everything's back to normal. Hangouts now up and running. Hopefully we'll get a few more guests. Yeah, I don't know. Rumpus, I turned him right down so people could hear him rumpusing, but still hear a conversation going, because otherwise it is literally 99% rumpus if he's doing that. And then once he'd, actually been addressed with the question, I turned him back up again, and he just ends up talking non-stop, and all he's doing is ad-homming me, saying I don't understand the scientific method. It's like, it doesn't matter how many times I deal it out to Rumpus, he will continually assert that you can have multiple independent variables. You can't. If he wants to detail a complex hypothesis, you can't get a cause out of that. You can only get a correlation, and what we're trying to establish is the cause of things, which is what you use science for. But Rumpus will double speak science non-stop. But there we go, that's Rumpus's bag, that's his MO. George is here to deal with Coriolis. Seems Rumpus is here to rumpus the scientific method.
Rumpus will be Rumpus.
Indeed, indeed. Hey, Chocolate.
Yo.
Check it out, Brenda von Aschen, perfect timing. Correlation is causation. That's what she says in the chat.
Right.
Correlation is causation.
Declaration
No,
of
Brenda.
insanity.
No. Correlation is not causation. Things can correlate but not be the cause of things. You complete bonehead. That's the most stupid thing you have ever said.
And there have been many.
Hilarious.
That is quite literally the most ridiculous thing Brenda has ever said. According to Brenda, you go to the football match in a same pair of pants each time, and when they score, that's because of your correlation with your pants that you've worn all the time. Because correlation is causation, according to Brenda. Your pants cause the goals. Unbelievable. Hello. Unbelievable how unbelievably stupid Brenda is. Brenda, you are as thick as they get. Correlation is not causation. It makes me angry. It really does, how stupid Brenda is. You literally enrage me with your stupidity, Brenda.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I missed the last 10 minutes, so maybe you guys can enlighten me.
About what?
There was a lot of rumpusing by Rumpus. He
Nothing
didn't miss
useful.
much.
Just rumpusing.
Yeah, it was nice that his volume was very low. But yeah, when he was asking a question, I could barely hear it. So
He's not asking anything.
well.
When somebody asked him a question, the first words out of his mouth, as I asserted over the top of him while he was rumpusing, was Nathan doesn't understand, blah, 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 blah. That was the first words. Because he's just here to sap our energy, piss us off. You know, and by asserting in his opening statement that I don't understand something, he's just trying to wind me up. You know, there we go. That's rumpus for you. Asshole obfuscator. Hey, Travis.
I made it through the vortex.
Excellent.
So who was it who sniped us then?
Sleeping Warrior Sock.
Ah, right, okay. Crafty.
Talking
So,
about yourselves,
Ranty, got
I'm
any
still
new
doing a
footage?
few things, so that's why I'm not as chatty.
Ranty, got any new footage?
New footage? No, we're in the middle of a pretty big storm here at the minute, so
Yeah.
can't really go out and film anything at the minute, even though I've got my P1000.
Got about 10
storming
minutes
here
left on
too.
this show, so hopefully we can get some chit chat. Will we have a quick break?
Well, I just want to present a little something. It's,
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
mainly just to rub Miles Davis's nose in this. Because, you know, some people think that he is in some way debunking me, which is retarded. Let me know when I'm sharing, Nath.
Yeah, you're on.
All right, yeah. So obviously this is a control image. This big image is the control image. I'm a little bit nearer. I'm probably 2.5 miles nearer than I would normally be, or 1.5 miles nearer. But I'm an elevation here, so I'm definitely higher than my 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. You know, I'm at least about 35, 40 feet above sea level when I took this image. So just going back to this lighthouse, and we're looking at a sand dune in the way of the house. So the house which is behind, there's one chimney stack and there's another chimney stack. That is a sand dune, Miles Davis. Hello, that is a sand dune. It is not water or earth curve. That is a sand dune, right? Anyway, this is just one of my observations that I've done. I've taken a screenshot of it. This is from the beach. This is from an elevation of approximately, I think it was 6 feet, this one. Distance was about 18.3 miles. So this being the control image, the one underneath, the big one, to give us an idea of the layout of the land. Now, there should be no curvature from this elevation, if you believe in the spinning ball nonsense. So my elevation negates that, plus my nearer position. So what we're looking at now, essentially, is, you know, just looking at it. And here we have the image that I captured off the beach from 6 feet. Now, if we compare the two, and we're looking at, obviously, this building here, we can see, obviously, the same design features of it. Width-wise, it's the same. So I've got it scaled correctly in width. Obviously, if we're looking at heights and stuff, you can actually see the sand dune in the image. So we've got the white part of the building, and if I zoom in, that is the sand dune underneath it.
Ranty, that's from a totally different angle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the parallax is slightly different because I'm at a nearer position.
No, but
so
from a different angle, because the peak
Parallax.
of that church is on the other side.
That's parallax, Arwin.
Parallax?
Parallax. I'll show you now. Just go to Blackpool. So yeah, because they're relatively close to each other and they're in a relatively similar direction. So this was where I do my filming from here, and this is where I actually took the image from that we're looking at now. So the parallax has made the building switch around. So that's how it works. The church will appear behind Barrow Town Hall from this location to the left, and from this location it will appear to the right. So that's your parallax. And
Can
just
you
going back.
scroll to where what you're looking at, basically, to the church and the
Yeah,
and the
I will do.
lighthouse?
One sec. I'll just finish this point, Arwen. But what I'm saying is that this is the sand dune that's in the foreground of this building. This sandbank here is this sandbank here, and the parallax will actually move this sand dune further across. So in the imagery from anything from the 1 foot or the 1 inch observation, this sand dune will appear further across. In fact, this rock that's evidenced in quite a few of my imageries is in front of this building from a different position, because I'm at the parallax. So obviously the sand dune will be further across, etc., etc. So yeah, so we are seeing the sand dune in front of these buildings that should be 150 feet or so beyond the curvature of the Earth. So there we go. And I can show you that now. Actually, the buildings that we're looking at. So if I do it from this position here, and we look at the 2 buildings in question, hopefully I can find them now. I'll just put Barrow Town Hall in here, actually. Barrow Town Hall, search for that. So yeah, so here we are. So from this location, we're looking at Barrow Town Hall here, and St. John's Church is, come on, where is it? Why do you do this to me, Owen?
Just curious.
What's it called? St. James's Church.
But the church is more in the foreground, right?
Arrow. Oh, there. So it's St. James's Community Centre. So there we go. So that's the church on the left, and Barrow Town Hall was down here, wasn't it? There. So there's Barrow Town Hall. Let me put a marker on these so I'll never forget them. Barrow Town Hall is there, and the spire is here. So let me put that there. So as we look at it from obviously my main position, you'll see the church is to the left-hand side of the Barrow Town Hall. You can see that, yeah? Owen?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing that it looks almost at the same height. It is really compacted.
And then when I do it
from
the control image, if I do it, this is where I took the control image from, the big one. And from this position, the parallax will mean that the church will appear on the right. So as we look in, obviously there's to the church. So there's a church that's on the right, and Barrow Town Hall is on the left.
Oh, wow. So close on that line.
Yeah, they're almost in a direct line. So that little change has made them parallax and switch over. But yeah, so this is obviously what we're seeing. You can see that we're seeing down to the sandbank here on this. Would you agree?
Yeah, I get it.
You actually see it in the video much clearer as well. It's got a lot nicer colours. So yeah, just reasserting that this lighthouse is behind that sandbank. And when he claimed that we're only seeing 7 meters of it, and apparently it should be 21 meters above sea level. Well, that's just horse shit, isn't it? That's just horse shit.
Where's the bulge?
Well, how could you fit 14? If that's 7 meters, how would you fit 14 meters? It'd be down here. That's what he's claiming. But this is what the boulders do. They try to fudge the math. They won't just look at the evidence and say, hey, guess what? Yeah, we shouldn't see any of this, right? None of this should be seen, right? But clearly we see it, so we'll try and make it up and make out how this can be turned into a ball earth proof. No, we're seeing down to the sand dunes.
Absolutely awesome. And with that, we're going to have a small break. So I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!